Hello and welcome. In today's video, we will give you an introduction to Robert Anton Wilson's concept of maybe logic. Maybe logic invites us to question our perceptions and assumptions about reality. This approach is deeply rooted in the idea that our understanding of the world is not fixed, but rather fluid and adaptable. It challenges us to recognize the limitations of our beliefs and encourages a more flexible, probabilistic way of thinking. It also shows how the way we frame our beliefs linguistically determines how we come to view set beliefs and how our use of language shapes our perception of reality. Maybe logic is a valuable tool when we try to understand the conditions that we live and interact with each other under. Wilson, an advocate for intellectual and experiential exploration, viewed spirituality through a lens that was both skeptical and open-minded. His spiritual views, deeply influenced by his encounters with diverse philosophical, scientific, and mystical traditions, align with the core principles of maybe logic, advocating for flexibility, open-mindedness, and the continuous questioning of one's beliefs. At the core of maybe logic is the concept that absolute certainty is a rare commodity. Wilson suggests that many of our convictions are built on shaky foundations, influenced by our upbringing, culture, and personal experiences. He proposes that instead of clinging to these potentially flawed beliefs, we should adopt a more tentative stance, always open to new information and perspectives. This mindset is not about abandoning all beliefs, but about holding them lightly, ready to revise them in the light of new evidence. Wilson's writings delve deep into the nature of reality and consciousness, often invoking concepts from quantum mechanics, where probabilities replace certainties, and Eastern philosophies. In quantum physics, particles do not have definite positions until they are observed. Similarly, Wilson's maybe logic encourages us to accept that our understanding of the world is provisional, contingent on our current knowledge and perspective. This probabilistic thinking helps us navigate the complexities and uncertainties of life more effectively. Wilson suggests that our conventional understanding of reality is limited, and that mystical experiences and altered states of consciousness can offer glimpses into deeper truths. This idea resonates with the probabilistic thinking of maybe logic, as both perspectives recognize the provisional nature of our knowledge and the potential for expanding our understanding through unconventional means. Wilson's engagement with practices such as meditation, ritual magic, and other controversial methods for altering one's state of consciousness reflects his belief in the transformative potential of these experiences. He viewed them as tools for expanding consciousness and exploring the depths of the human psyche. This aligns with maybe logic's emphasis on experimentation and the willingness to challenge and revise one's beliefs. By engaging in these practices, Wilson sought to break free from the constraints of ordinary perception and tap into a broader, more inclusive understanding of reality. A central tenet of Wilson's spiritual philosophy is the rejection of dogmatism and the embrace of uncertainty. He was critical of rigid religious and philosophical systems that claim absolute truth. Instead, he advocated for a form of spirituality that is dynamic and evolving, always open to new insights and experiences. This approach is reflected in maybe logic, which encourages us to hold our beliefs lightly and to remain open to revising them in the light of new evidence. As stated in the beginning, Wilson also emphasizes the role of language in shaping our reality. Language, he argues, is not a neutral tool for describing the world, but a powerful force that influences our perceptions and interactions. Our words frame our experiences and can limit or expand our understanding. By becoming more aware of how we use language, we can begin to see beyond the constraints it imposes and explore new ways of thinking and being. In this context, maybe logic can be seen as a practical application of linguistic relativism, the idea that the structure of a language affects its speaker's worldview. Wilson encourages us to experiment with language, using it more creatively and consciously to open up new possibilities for understanding and action. This might involve reframing problems, using metaphors that inspire rather than constrain, or adopting new terminologies that reflect more nuanced perspectives. If understood correctly, this approach encourages reflection on how much we take for granted when we have framed a phenomenon, situation, person, etc. linguistically, often confusing the map with the territory. Another significant aspect of maybe logic is its embrace of multiple perspectives. Wilson advocates for what he calls guerrilla ontology, a strategy of deliberately adopting various viewpoints to challenge and expand our understanding. This method helps us break free from the limitations of a single, fixed perspective and appreciate the richness and complexity of different ways of seeing the world. It can be both humbling, enlightening, as well as make one grow as a person to seriously try to argue for the opposite of things that one stands for. This approach can be particularly valuable in addressing conflicts and misunderstandings. By recognizing that our perspective is just one of many, we can become more empathetic and open-minded. This does not mean abandoning our views, but holding them in a more flexible, provisional way, open to dialogue and learning. Such an attitude can foster greater cooperation and creativity, as we are more likely to find common ground and innovative solutions when we approach problems from multiple angles. Wilson's maybe logic also resonates with principles of general semantics, a field developed by Alfred Korzybski. General semantics teaches that the way we interpret and respond to the world is influenced by the language and symbols we use. Korzybski was actually the one who famously stated the already used phrase, "The map is not the territory," highlighting that our mental models are simplifications and not the actual reality. Maybe logic extends this idea, reminding us to constantly revise our maps as we gather more data and insights. By acknowledging the limits of our knowledge and remaining open to new information, we can engage more constructively with those who hold different views. This does not mean relativism, where all beliefs are seen as equally valid, but a recognition that our current understanding is always subject to revision. Maybe logic also has practical implications for personal development and self-improvement. By questioning our assumptions and being open to new possibilities, we can break free from limiting beliefs and behaviors. This mindset encourages continuous learning and growth, as we are always looking for ways to refine our understanding and improve our actions. It can also foster resilience, as we are better equipped to adapt to changing circumstances and uncertainties. Maybe logic promotes a spirit of inquiry and innovation. By holding our theories lightly and remaining open to new data, we can advance knowledge more effectively. This approach encourages experimentation and creativity, as we are more willing to explore unconventional ideas and approaches. Wilson's spirituality also emphasizes the interconnectedness of all things. He was influenced by the idea of the holographic universe, where each part reflects the whole, and by systems theory, which highlights the interdependence of all elements within a system. This holistic perspective is in harmony with maybe logic's recognition of the complexity and interrelatedness of reality. By acknowledging the interconnectedness of all things, we can develop a more nuanced and comprehensive understanding of the world. In addition, Wilson's spiritual beliefs often incorporated a playful and humorous element. He saw humor as a vital tool for breaking down rigid thinking and opening up new possibilities. This playful approach is evident in maybe logic, which encourages us to question our assumptions and to explore alternative perspectives with a sense of curiosity and wonder. By approaching spirituality with a sense of humor, Wilson highlighted the importance of not taking oneself too seriously and remaining open to the unexpected. Wilson's exploration of spiritual practices also extended to his interest in synchronicity and meaningful coincidences. He believed that these phenomena could provide insights into the underlying patterns of reality, and that paying attention to them could enhance our understanding and intuition. This idea fits well with maybe logic's emphasis on being open to new experiences and recognizing the limitations of conventional rationality. By being attuned to synchronicities, we can cultivate a more flexible and receptive mindset. Moreover, Wilson's spiritual views were deeply influenced by the concept of the agnostic mystic. This term, which he used to describe himself, reflects a stance that is both skeptical and open to the possibility of mystical experiences. As an agnostic mystic, Wilson acknowledged the limitations of human knowledge while remaining open to the transcendent and the mysterious. This perspective is closely aligned with maybe logic, which encourages us to embrace uncertainty and remain open to the possibility of new and transformative experiences. In his later years, Wilson became increasingly interested in the concept of non-duality, as found in Advaita Vedanta and other Eastern spiritual traditions. Non-duality, which emphasizes the unity of all things and the illusion of separation, resonated with his broader philosophical views. This perspective is in harmony with maybe logic's recognition of the interconnectedness of all things and the provisional nature of our distinctions and categories. By embracing non-duality, Wilson sought to transcend the limitations of dualistic thinking and to experience a more integrated and holistic view of reality. In summary, Robert Anton Wilson's Maybe Logic in Quantum Psychology offers a profound and practical framework for understanding and navigating the world. By embracing uncertainty, questioning our assumptions, and remaining open to new perspectives, we can cultivate a more flexible, adaptive, and creative approach to life. Wilson's embrace of maybe logic reflects his commitment to intellectual and experiential exploration, his rejection of dogmatism, and his recognition of the provisional nature of human knowledge. This approach encourages us to remain open to new experiences, question our assumptions, and cultivate a more flexible and adaptive understanding of reality.